Today's episode, we're gonna be installing new spark plugs for the Tacoma V6 4.0. I picked up some Denso, which is OEM Toyota Iridium plugs. I always upgrade to Iridiums. That's all I put in all my cars. They run great every single time. So I've never done the spark plugs on a V6, especially a Toyota and especially a truck. So let's get it going and see if we can do it successfully. This is the hard side supposedly, because there's a bracket right here for the manifold. My buddy that's a mechanic at Toyota told me you don't have to move it, so I'm gonna try to do it without moving it. And I know you're watching, so let's make him proud. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna remove is the engine cover. These are two 10mm. So I guess it pops up and there's two clips on the back. These are the two clips right here. If you guys can see, it just basically snaps back in like that, and then you put it down and do your thing. All right, let's move it out. Let's remove the coil pack. I'm gonna do the clip first on this one, and then remove, I think that's a 10mm. So let's go ahead and get to that. So I used two flatheads basically to remove that, as you guys saw. Now let's get that 10mm. I'm using a really long extension, so I think that did it. Let's take a look. Yep. That one. Bam, got the first one out. One quick thing you want to use for the spark plug, it's a 5/8 with a little bushing inside, so it holds the spark plug when you put it in. So you can see it doesn't fall out. It has a little bushing in there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that comes really handy. And I'm using a really long extension. I think this is a little overkill, but I have it, so I'm going to use it. You got to make sure you let the engine cool down because it's an aluminum head, just to be on the safe side. Here's the first one. Doesn't look too bad actually. I'm happy with that one. So, boom, doesn't fall. Stick it in the hole. Like I said, turn it backwards. When you hear it pop, go back. Turn it counterclockwise. When you hear it pop, turn it back clockwise. There, you heard that? Let's go back. I'll do it by hand first. And it should be hand tight. If it starts to get hard, that means you cross thread it. You don't want to turn it anymore. Just back it down and start all over. Okay. Hand tight, not too crazy because it is aluminum. I think that's good. All right. I have a feeling this is the easy one. Okay, not bad. That's the first one. Took me about maybe 3 minutes. Let's continue. We have 5 more to go. Okay, I got a little frustrated taking that 10mm where the support's at. You can do it with a swivel and a short, but I'm losing light and I don't want to struggle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take off this bracket, like just swing it to the side. So all you gotta do is put a 12 on here. Sorry, Juvie, I couldn't do it like you do. You're probably a master mechanic at Toyota. I'm just an average Joe. I'm a weekend warrior here. I'll make my life easier. Screw will take me 2 seconds to put back on. Okay, I got my little step stool. I'm not used to that working on trucks. Usually when I used to work on cars, they're all very low. And I'm only like 5'6". So I just loosened it a little bit just to shift it over. So hopefully you guys can see it. This is the thing I moved. It's a 12 on this side on the top, and there's a 12 on the bottom. The bottom one just barely break it just so you can shift it over and get to that 10mm right here. If you're a mechanic or you know about spark plugs a lot, comment down below. But I think it's okay. There's no oil on this side. It looks crusty as hell. I don't think anyone's changed it in a long time. But there's oil here. But what I think that's telling me, the grommet around the valve cover is leaking. So it's not really leaking in the cylinder. It's leaking just on the cover and seeping through. As you can see, this is oily as well. So I can't see any oil down there. It's kind of dark. But comment down below if that's a bad sign, if I'm correct or if I'm wrong. But I believe it's just the grommet of the gasket for the valve cover. So I got one side done. It wasn't that hard. I had to put it scale 1 to 5. It's like a 2. The hardest part is actually just messing with the little brackets. And if your truck's a little lifted, or if you got bigger wheels, get yourself a little pedestal. You're gonna need it when you gotta get down there pretty deep. And it's good to have probably to wash your truck too. So let's get on to the other side. My buddy that's a mechanic disassemble this and get so much access. So basically you're gonna remove this C-clamp or whatever the hell kind of clamp this is for the intake. Loosen that guy up. Slide that off. Slide the intake cover off with these two clips. Like that. Pop this off. And you're done right there. You don't need to remove this, but I'm gonna remove it so you guys can see better in the video. So that wraps up this video. Let me explain real quick what you need to do this. You obviously need a wrench. You also need 10 millimeter. You need a 12 millimeter 5/8 socket with the bushing in there. If you can't afford to buy this, or you don't want to, you can use a rubber hose and poke it out, or use a magnet and get your stuff out, or needle nose, like long needle nose. Needle nose, you probably struggle. With the box, I put the old spark plugs in there. But what you do is you could do is put the date. So like today's the 11th-21-18, so like that, and you put that in your glove box. You'll remember the last time you did your spark plugs. I like to be on top of it and change it. It's been like 2 years, so I'll change them. They probably don't need to be changed for a long time. I think they go like over 20,000 miles easy, probably 50,000 miles, but I change them like every 2 years to a year. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Leave comments down below. I like to interact with you guys. It's like my favorite part of making YouTube videos. And if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them. Feel free to answer them. And don't forget, we have an online store. The description will be down below. You get your Broadway key tags, stickers, whatever you guys want. In the future, I want to make some t-shirts, so we're gonna work on that at some point. So I love you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.